Welcome to this video on the European Medicines Agency's strategic initiative to advance medicines for women's health. This blueprint focuses on mapping research gaps, reducing health disparities, and prioritizing inclusive regulatory practices in healthcare. We face a core paradox in women's health. Women often live longer than men but spend a larger portion of their lives in poorer health. This disparity is driven by societal factors and critical gaps in disease prevention, diagnosis, and treatment for conditions like endometriosis and preeclampsia. The treatment gap stems from three root causes: the historical underrepresentation of women in clinical research, persistent knowledge gaps regarding sex-based differences, and a failure to integrate these findings into the development and use of medicines. As Emer Cook, Executive Director of the EMA, has emphasized, advancing women's health is a personal and institutional priority. The agency aims to enable the development of medical products that are better tailored to women's specific needs. To achieve this, the EMA is focusing on four strategic pillars: mandating representation in clinical trials, tailoring assessment and labeling, addressing data gaps in pregnancy and breastfeeding, and leveraging real-world evidence. Pillar 1 focuses on clinical trial representation. Regulations now dictate that trial populations must reflect those who will actually use the medicine. The EMA uses the Clinical Trials Information System to ensure these demographics remain aligned with real-world disease prevalence. Pillar 2 involves tailoring assessment and labeling. The directive here is clear. Potential sex-specific differences in dosage, efficacy, and safety profiles must be rigorously assessed and explicitly stated in product labeling to guide better healthcare decisions. Pillar 3 addresses the critical lack of data during pregnancy and breastfeeding. The EMA is funding post-authorization studies, improving safety signal detection, and advocating for the inclusion of pregnant and breastfeeding individuals in clinical trials through new guidelines. The fourth pillar leverages real-world evidence, or RWE. By using the DARWIN EU network, the agency can conduct large-scale studies on medicine use, capturing performance data for populations that were not explicitly included in initial clinical trials. A prime example of RWE in action is a study investigating the risk of venous thromboembolism associated with NSAID use in women aged 15 to 49 using hormonal contraceptives. This helps fill essential post-market knowledge gaps. A multi-stakeholder workshop involving patients, healthcare professionals, academia, and industry served as a key catalyst for this initiative. The findings from this collaboration are being used to map priorities and strengthen the evidence base for women's health. Looking forward, the EMA aims to reduce regulatory uncertainty through early support mechanisms, strengthen dialogue with stakeholders to identify gaps before they become bottlenecks, and continued international collaboration to ensure cohesive standards. In conclusion, this blueprint transitions from identifying historical challenges to implementing a structured architecture. By focusing on representation and evidence, the goal is a regulatory landscape where medicines are better tailored to women, ultimately improving both health span and lifespan.